Understand something. Plain and simple. To me, Abigail was a delicious poison. An intoxicating, overwhelming poison. Yowie wowie! That felt good! Yowie wowie. Let me in.
Hey guys, it is Monday and welcome to another episode of Abby's Window. We hope you have all had a great couple of days. It's been a while since we've been on with you guys. And we are here to talk about the developments of what happened on last Friday's SmackDown. As always, I've got my co-host Jeff with me, and of course, our resident Abby Jodie is here. We are going to get into it and talk about what we saw on Friday, which honestly was unexpected. We didn't see really anything, no advertisements or anything like that, and all of a sudden we got a Funhouse pop up. So there you go. We have something to talk about, which is always a great thing. Let me say hello to some people. So Drift Lewis is here. Hello to you, Drift Lewis. How are you? Joshua Mickelson is here. Hello to you. Jay Legacy. Hello to you. Famous KJ Carter. Shout out to you. Sean Rousset is here. Hello, Sean. How are you today? We have James Chadwick has joined us as well. Of course, Jodie gets herself in the chat again. I don't know how that happens, but Jodie is in the chat. Nails and NY is coming on from Twitch. Johnny Bates, hello to you. John Cena Gamer 0809, hello to you. Shorty C instead of Shorty G. Very clever. Hello to you. Trinard 2000, hello to you. Just for a second to say hello. Monica King, Meme Collector, hello to you. Sunny Wolf, hello. Butterspark, hello to you. And Mike Lister, good afternoon to you. EJ Movement, hello to you. The Insiders Army is there. Sean Aker is there as well. And yes, Liam Behan is here also. Welcome to all of you guys. And again, like I said, I hope you guys had a great weekend. And I hope you're ready to discuss some things, Bray Wyatt and what's going on. We did have a lot of things that were talked about. Of course, we got that Funhouse episode. And really all it was to kind of say that, the Fiend lost his favorite toy. And then, of course, introduce the fact that we are getting a new friend in the Funhouse this Friday. So exciting stuff there. And then, of course, we got a rumor that WWE filed a name for Wobbly Walrus. We'll have to bring that up as well and just see what you guys think of Wobbly Walrus. Of course, it does sound like a Bray puppet. And then Cat Girl is here as well. Welcome to you. So let's go back to Thursday night. Let's just talk about the Funhouse a little bit because, yes, the Funhouse came on. We saw Bray in there. He was talking about the Fiend losing his favorite toy, kind of saying, I like how he calls it that. And I know some other people have mentioned it because it kind of makes it seem, and I think C Wrestling said this, like it's not really that important to him, which, it kind of does. If you're making it sound like it's a toy, then yes, it's not necessarily something that sounds all that important. And then, of course, he introduced, we are getting a new friend in the Funhouse. Now, that took me back to 8 months ago, and I put this out on Twitter because when he said we have a new friend, the last time it was the doll that we saw with The Miz. So let's chat about that. So let's just go right into it here. Jodie, did you, first of all, I didn't expect the Funhouse at all. I didn't think, you had said you didn't think you'd see him at all this past week. So were you surprised by the fact that we got that little sneaky Funhouse?
Absolutely. Bray is pretty notorious for not showing up the episode after a pay-per-view. So I definitely had myself pretty convinced that we weren't going to see him. So obviously seeing his beautiful face on my television screen, I was a happy girl.
There you go. There you go. Jeff, what did you think of the surprise Funhouse we got, and of course the little cryptic things that happened? I mean, we saw Abby again in the window, which is cool because we haven't been seeing Abby much. We had some stars in the window behind her, which you could clearly see.
They were fireflies.
Oh, okay. All right. Looked like stars, but okay. And then we saw the picture of the burning cabin, but it was turned upside down.
Yep.
Yeah, like I was trying to determine what that picture was. Jeff was the one who actually told me because I'm looking at it and I couldn't recognize it right off the bat, and I guess because it was turned upside down. But Jeff, what did you think of that little cryptic funhouse that we got on Friday?
Anytime we can see Bray Wyatt, it's a good day. So I'm really happy that we got a chance to see him, especially with the fact that I didn't think any of us actually thought we would. So that was good. In terms of the little hint that he dropped, I know a lot of people are saying who they think it is. I think it could potentially be a swerve. I think that maybe that's going to come later, but I think the friend is going to be an actual friend and not a particular walrus that we won't name just yet that he's going to make fun of.
Okay. Yeah, fair enough. Joey's Adventures said, I heard a theory in the background behind Abby was Alexa's Titantron. Yeah, that was part of C Wrestling's video as well. Has that same kind of Titantron behind her. Welcome to you, by the way. JB Mushmeister, welcome to you as well. Let me just get this in quick. For those of you guys listening to us on Facebook, do me a favor and come over and hit the sub button on our YouTube channel. Just so you get the notifications and stuff from there to know when we are on or we're doing anything like that. We would really appreciate it. And also, any of you guys like our video as well. That would be an awesome thing. So, look, when I saw the two things, of course, when we saw the comment about the losing the toy, and then of course, we heard him say that there will be a new friend in the Funhouse. Now, I mean, we spoke, I think last week it was. There's a lot of rumors flying around about a new faction. And of course, this got brought right back into the limelight because of the comment about this new friend. Now, of course, as we went on SmackDown a little bit later, we saw a clip of Alexa and Nikki Cross. And of course, Alexa's been odd, to say the least. There's been a lot of stuff going on with her. She was on The Bump, I believe it was, and acting very weird, talking to Xavier Woods. She kind of was in a zone when he was asking her about what it was like to be, captured by the Fiend. She didn't reply, kind of just twisting those braids, which, by the way, she has more than one now, and just not responding. And then all of a sudden, it was like she woke up out of a trance and said, "Oh, yeah, cool, everything's great, blah 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 blah," and then she kind of just left the interview. So and then of course behind Nikki and Alexa we saw Ramblin' Rabbit. Yes, Ramblin' Rabbit, and that was the first one of those kind of puppet things we've seen in a while. We used to when the Funhouse first started, we used to see the puppets everywhere. They were all over the place. They'd be in backstage. They'd be, you'd have little puppet sightings here and there, and we haven't seen that in a while. So very cool that we saw that. But I don't know. It seems to me like I think just because they followed it up with that, it was kind of making everybody think that Alexa was going to be this friend that is going to be on. And we'll get to this a little bit later, and I'll get everybody's opinion on it. I don't think so. I think it's too simple. And I think that it's
too obvious.
It's definitely too obvious. They want you to think that way. So
that when somebody else shows up, we're all going, "Oh,
yeah,
what?"
Yep. I agree. I don't think it's going to be that. So yeah, let's So I mean, Jodie, listen, let's get into it here, and we'll talk a little bit about. Do we think that this is going to be a person? Or do we think this is going to be a puppet? Because I know that debate has gone on all week long as well. Are we getting a puppet? And is that the friend that he gets? Because obviously we know, other than the postman who we just saw and people who've broken into the Funhouse like Braun and Seth, Other than that, we haven't seen anybody inside the. Well, I'm sorry, John Cena. Yeah, John Cena also. So 3 people, but all wrestlers. We haven't seen anybody who came in as quote unquote a friend. The people who have come in there all were coming after Bray.
Mhm.
So we haven't the other, the postman, he was kind of the only one. So are we seeing another person now that we saw the mailman come in there? Or is this going to be a puppet, do you think?
I think it's going to be a puppet. I kind of said when we were talking about Alexa earlier, I think it's too obvious that, I mean, everybody wants to say, I do think at some point down the road, she'll be more heavily involved in this story, but I think her being the friend and becoming more like the doll, if you think that's the way it's going, I think it's too obvious. And Bray's not that kind of person. So if he still has pretty much total creative control, which I've been assured that he does, I think it's too obvious. And I don't think he's going to go for the obvious kill. You know what I mean? Just like in horror movies, they're not going to go for the obvious kill. They're going to go for the one that you don't see coming. So I think it's a new puppet. I think it's possible that it's some kind of puppet based on Paul Heyman. That's definitely a possibility because then it connects Bray to Roman and to Brock.
All right, yeah. I mean, they mentioned that. Well, let me go to Jeff. Jeff, do you think this is going to be a puppet, or do you think we're getting an actual person here?
I'm gonna go a little bit different. I think we're gonna get a person.
Okay.
I think, and the reason I think this is that clearly, well, maybe not so clearly because, well, plans change, but I think we're going to get another Fiend Roman encounter, and I think this is the start of Bray evening the odds. So Roman has Paul Heyman right now, and I think that we maybe have someone else introduced to us on Friday. Who knows? I don't know. But I think we get a person. But I mean, either way, I think whatever we get, I mean, we could see the puppet first, and then we see the person that the puppet portrays. That's a lot of P's there. But I think that's what we'll see. We may get someone. We may get a puppet Friday night, and then we may get the person in a couple weeks that we see. So that's kind of my thought process on it.
I want to point something out too. They're, talking about Alexa's personality changing. If you look at what she does when somebody mentions the Fiend, she kind of stares off into that distance, exactly like Funhouse Bray does.
Yeah,
she's not doing her own kind of thing. Like if you want to say, you could say Moth to a Flame about Funhouse Bray to the Fiend as well. So you bring up the Fiend around Alexa, she gets that blank stare, almost like she's gone into another world, and then snap, she's back, just like Funhouse Bray does.
Yeah, I mean, that's kind of cool, too. We talked about that, we talked about that a long time ago where, could he when everybody was talking about a manifestation or physical manifestation of Abigail, a lot of people were saying, well, could they and this was back when the whole Liv Morgan thing was going on, could they make another person have that kind of personality as a female wrestler? Well, I mean, if they're going to do something like that, this would certainly be a way to introduce that, where she could be a female type of, multiple personality disorder kind of thing going on where, yeah, you're kind of going off into space there and then you just bring it back. And yeah, I mean, it could be something like that where maybe Alexa is going to do that on her own and that's going to be her character. I mean, everybody's kind of assuming that she's going to go back to the Harley Quinn thing, but nobody really knows. And again, that's out there as well. Whether is this going to be like the Joker and Harley Quinn? So, yeah, I've got I mean, your points are both good. I'm gonna say that yes, I think eventually down the road there's gonna be something else with Roman. I don't think it'll be anytime soon because now we've got Roman and Jey Uso, and I think that's gonna go for a little bit. It almost looks like Roman's gonna turn on his family kind of the thing.
And that's going to set
And
up for Rock.
yeah, or now, I mean, the other rumor out there is that can this be all a ruse? Maybe they have the match with him and Jay, and maybe Jay just lays down for him and lets him beat him. And then he joins up with Roman and with Heyman, and Heyman's trying to get the this island faction together with all of them. And so I don't know. I think we're talking puppets versus person. I think we're going to get both. I think he starts the Funhouse with a puppet. And then I think he talks about the puppet and things like that, goes to the end. And then I think someone walks through that door. Who it's going to be,
Cena.
I don't know. I don't know who it's going to be. I think it's going to be, again, so many rumors about who these people might be. I don't know, but I think it's going to be someone. Whether it's going to be Braun, kind of all the way turned now because we haven't seen him. Braun in a mask. Whether it's going to be, his brother Bo. Whether Bo's going to show up. Whether something like that. I do think, though, they will be wearing a mask, and I don't think we're going to find out who it is. I think you're going to hear the name of the puppet, and I think this person's going to come in. I think they're not going to reveal their identity. They're going to have a mask on, and I don't think we're going to know who it is. That's how.
Cena?
I don't know about Cena. I mean, I don't. It's possible, sure. I don't. I just don't know. I don't know like what he's up to and doing and things like that. I read some rumors that they're going to start very soon filming that Fast and Furious movie he was supposed to be in. So if that's the case, I don't think he would be there. But I mean, it's certainly possible. It's possible. But that's what I think is going to happen. And I think they keep us. It's almost like to the point that Jeff made too, where they kind of keep us on hold as to who it is. And I don't think they're going to reveal who it is. I think you're going to just see this person come in, and I don't think they're going to know who it is.
They're going to toy with us for a little while.
Yep.
Damn it, Bray.
Yeah, I agree. EJ Movement says, I think it's going to be the puppet with the name that WWE copyrighted, but if it's going to be a person, Bo Dallas needs to be used. I don't know that the Walrus thing is going to come right away. I think that when they copyright things like that, they usually do it well in advance because they don't want people getting a trademark to it or anything like that. So I think that may be for down the road. Whether it's going to be another thing where he's going after, whether Paul and Roman form some sort of group, and then maybe down the road they're going to go up against that group. But I'm talking down the road, maybe even into next year, where it could be Royal Rumble, timing, things like that. I don't think that Walrus thing is going to come into effect so soon and Jeff could attest, storylines like this get written, they get written well in advance before things. I don't think they're going to just write that in right away after getting a copyright to it.
No. I mean, with something like this, I mean, you don't just file this the week that you're planning to put this in motion. This is, like Joe said, I think this is something that maybe 6 to 8 months down the road, this is when we see this come into play. I don't think it's anytime soon. This is just them setting up for whatever's to come next in that part of the feud. But for right now, I don't even think we have to worry about Bray and Roman even being, against each other right now. I think we'll get glimpses of it to build towards that 6 to 8 months down the road. But I don't think we get any of that right now. But I do think it's going to kind of remain fresh and have some hints of things every so often just to keep it in the back of your mind.
Yeah, I think so. Like Jodie said, I think this is going to be a long storyline, guys. We all love those long storyline setups with Bray. I think we're in for another ride here. At least that's what it looks like. I think that this is going to go on for a while. And I mean, we don't even know if we'll necessarily get a culmination at Clash of Champions because there may not be anything that comes of this as far as matches go. And maybe I don't know. I mean, maybe Bray will take a pay-per-view off here, maybe not come back with this until we get closer to Survivor Series is when we might see this come into play. They don't have to have him wrestle at every single pay-per-view, especially if he's not in the title picture anymore and things like that. So he may not have to be in Clash of Champions. I mean, that's all kind of about, that exactly what it is they, usually they made it out to be where they're, champions fighting one another. So obviously, because he's not in that title picture, it may not be. I mean, we'll see.
I also think that feud between him and Randy is percolating as well.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Because they have been interacting a little bit more on Twitter. And the draft.
Oh, yeah, that's true.
Soon.
You did. Yeah.
So we could see Randy get moved to SmackDown and some of those things get percolated.
Yeah, that's a good point too, because again, we're going to have the shakeup, the draft, whatever the heck you want to call it, coming up at the end of September. Maybe that's right after Clash of Champions. And again, maybe that's where a lot of things go into play. Yes, that's a good point. Good shout. They did bring that up on Twitter. We saw Randy with the snake. What is going on with Randy? Is Randy going to be the next Jake the Snake Roberts? Is Randy bringing in a real snake to the event? I don't know, but of course we saw Bray respond to it with a person. I think that was Jean-Claude Van Damme killing the snake. So I mean, definitely some a little bit of steam there, a little bit of heat. Absolutely. Alexa was on Talking Smack. Sorry, John Cena Gamer. Yes, you are correct. I'm sorry. I thought it was a bump, but yes. So. Yeah, I mean, it's funny how that they put a lot of these things into motion early on. These feuds may be starting, or like what we saw with Orton and Roman. They kind of get these little digs in on each other on social media, and that kind of stuff maybe will come into play months down the road. But they kind of just ignite it a little bit, get a spark going, get a little excitement going about
get us talking.
Yeah, that's a great point. Great point. Days Fan says The Fiend versus Randy at Survivor Series, maybe. Well, I mean, Randy's got a match with Drew at Clash of Champions. So, I mean, even if they end that there, even if Randy loses and then that's that, it would be pretty quick to set that up. And, of course, that's going to be a big match.
Huge food.
Yeah, that's a big – that's got to be a long-term storyline for Bray.
That's got to build for months.
Yeah, I don't think they would go into that so quickly. Meme Collector said earlier, wait a minute. Remember the boar mask? Well, what if that's not a boar? The mask drawing had tusks. Walruses also have tusks. Wobbly walrus connection. Okay. All right. Not a bad call, dude. Good call. Good shout. Good call, dude. Very good call. Yeah, we all assumed it was a boar because we were thinking the Funhouse, and we were thinking Huskus.
What?
Have you guys seen the movie Tusk?
Oh, the Kevin Smith movie.
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't even think about that. Yeah. Wow.
Okay. That's just a theory, but if you guys have not seen the movie Tusk, it's where a deranged man turns people into walruses.
Oh.
And I think it's streaming on Prime Video right now if you've got Prime Video. But yeah, check that out because I think this may have some type of correlation somehow.
Oh, okay. That's
with that comment, I'm starting to think that maybe there's something there.
That's interesting. Well, there you go.
I'm starting to think that maybe Bray is spending too much time on the Shudder app.
Yeah, Bray might be checking out the shut. Well, hey, I mean, look, they've got some good things going on there, and if he's friends with Mr. Savini, he does things on there, and of course, that's another thing we've got to talk about a little bit. We got to talk about. There was a comment because we had this is something we said months back. About him doing a movie. There was a comment made. A fan came on and said, have you guys talked to Bray Wyatt? You guys should do. And then, underneath was the comment from the director of there's a movie on Shudder right now, and the name escapes me, but it's the host. Yeah, man, that looks like terrifying. Actually, it's
is terrifying.
Have you watched it?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I was gonna say it's about like, and I, of course, I would never watch it because it's demonic
I
possession,
watched
so
it
that's
because
automatically out.
I watched it because Kyle posted about it
Mm,
and said, "Well, I won't tell you what he said, but it was funny."
yeah, I mean it's a movie that really plays on you from the things that are going on now because
Yes.
so many people are on Skype and on Zoom and things
Yes.
like that now, and
It's
that's what this
terrifying.
was. Yeah, they literally do a séance on that sort of media, and then things start to happen to all these people and things like that. Yeah, that's but the producer rather of that film pretty much wrote to Bray and said, "Let's talk." Was his answer. So that's pretty awesome. I would be, and maybe that's why Bray's spending time on Shudder. Might be checking out Shudder because, well, you never know. Maybe Shudder will have something Bray related sometime down the line.
They do a lot of original pieces.
They do. Yes,
It could
yes,
be a
they
Shudder
absolutely
exclusive.
do. They absolutely do. That'd be cool. WWE would have to combine with them on that, but yeah, I wouldn't say, hey, if it's going to make WWE money, they'll do it. KJ Carter, can I get a shout out for my birthday? Oh, yes, you've got an early birthday coming in 10 days. Shout out to you, KJ.
Happy birthday to you.
Yes. Happy early birthday. Of course, we'll see you before the 17th. We'll be next week. We will celebrate KJ's birthday on Abby's because that'll be the 14th. So there you go. Chris is here. Chris said Jodie is the new friend. Jodie would die if Jodie was the new friend.
I don't think I'd make it through the door.
We wouldn't be able to talk to Jodie. Jodie would not be here right now. Yeah. C Wrestling has joined. Hello to you. I think I saw Foul in the chat. Hello to you, sir. Good evening. Kevin Correa has joined. We got a lot of late people coming in. Johnny Bates has joined. Go Sox Time has joined. Sean Aker has joined. Hello to everybody. Sean says if they are planning on doing a new Samoan faction with Roman and the Usos, they need to go full Island Savage and no sell all offensive attacks to the head and skull. Yes. Oh, jeez. Oh man, yeah. I remember when what was that? The Tonga Kid? Was it the Tonga Kid that used to wrestle in the 80s? Mm-hmm. I think that was, yeah. They used to have a lot of guys like that back then, yeah.
I kind of thought that though. I was like, what if they're trying to create another Shield, and they're all Heyman guys?
Could be. They could bring Lesnar into that if they want.
Yeah, it'd be Roman, Lesnar, and then somebody else that becomes a Heyman guy.
Yeah. They certainly could do that.
To the Usos.
The Usos, yeah. They could certainly do that. Yeah, absolutely. Let's see. Imtiaz is here. Hello to you. Hope you are doing well. Yeah, I mean, look, there's a lot of cool things, a lot of cool stuff going on, and it's cool now because obviously now we know there's something coming. We know there's another storyline developing. It's pretty safe to say, I think, that the Braun thing is over. The feud, anyway. Maybe he comes into this somehow being involved in that faction, but yeah, it looks as if we're going on to something new. Which whether it's going to be a group kind of event here, whether we're going to get a faction versus a faction, whether it's going to be just Bray moving on to someone else, or like Jodie said, whether this is all going to be draft related and positioning, just where they're whether they're going to position people and put maybe they send Bray to Raw. We don't know. I don't think SmackDown would let him go. Yeah, I don't think Fox would let him go. So I think it would be better off. It'd probably make a lot more sense that Randy would get moved, especially if he lost to Drew. That he would go.
And I did say when the new logo for Raw came out, I did say that logo is begging to be turned into a Fiend face.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, I remember you mentioning that. Yeah. I mean, I don't think it would hurt him either way. I mean, it's going to help. It's going to help either show, no matter which show he happens to be on. I mean, it's definitely going to help either show. SmackDown seems a little bit top heavy now. It seems like now that they've got Roman and Paul, it just seems like they're getting a little bit top heavy. They also have AJ Styles. They've got Matt Riddle there now. They've got so it's kind of top heavy leaning to SmackDown. So I do think they're going to have to shift some people around, and I think Braun would be a logical choice to go to Raw.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think that they are definitely going to shift some people around going forward. All right, so let's get to. We spoke about this a little bit earlier, but let's get to now the fact that Ramblin' Rabbit was involved with that whole thing with Alexa. So we saw a puppet. We know that there's something going on with Alexa. So we've talked in the past about how we don't think the puppets are actually real. We think that they're in Bray's head. So is this now? Jodie brought it up a little bit earlier. Is this something that that we're seeing because is that something that Alexa is thinking of in the background, or is this something that we're seeing because Bray is watching the interview and he's seeing Ramblin' Rabbit there? I mean, I don't know. I mean, we've all kind of talked about the puppets. Are they manifestations of what Bray thinks he sees? And if that's the case, when we're seeing it on the screen, are we looking through Bray's eyes at a situation where he thinks he's seeing Ramblin' Rabbit? Is Ramblin' Rabbit trying to get attention to something? When you see these puppets, are they calling attention to Bray to say, hey, you need to check this out, so pay attention and watch this? But yeah, I mean, let's go into that. So Jeff, start us off. What do you think? What do you think of the Ramblin' sighting, and what do you think of Alexa, man? I mean, let's talk more about Alexa. Do you think Alexa is going to go her own direction? Is she going to be another Fiend type character on her own and just move towards that? And we're getting a build up with her and Nikki Cross. Or is she going to be part of maybe what we're thinking and what you mentioned might be this team with Bray? And if that's the case, then that would mean that Paul Heyman would have to have a Paul Heyman woman, not a Paul Heyman guy. You'd have to have a Paul Heyman woman, unless Alexa's just there to balance out the fact that Paul Heyman is there. Then that could be another possibility as well. But what do you think about? Where do you think they're going with Alexa?
I saw someone say this earlier, and I hate the fact that I didn't get to say it before the comment was put out there. I don't think that Alexa ends up with the Fiend. I think that she wants to. I think she will want to, but I have a feeling that eventually Nikki Cross will end up with the Fiend.
Okay.
And I say that because of how, if you look at her old persona, and she was a little out there, and she still is, but she's toned it down considerably. I can see that really working with that. I think that maybe Rambling Rabbit is being a talent scout right now. I think maybe he's searching the field for potential family members or alliances that he can come back and report on.
Interesting. Well, I mean, we did see those puppets behind, things behind wrestlers. Some of the stuff has happened with them and Bray. I mean, we saw, of course, the Miz, and then Miz had that little tiny feud with him, way back when it was against Funhouse Bray. So yeah, that's a good point. What do you think, Jodie? Do you think that? Where do you think it's going? Do you agree with Jeff? Do you think Alexa's kind of going her own way, and just turning into a similar character to Bray, or is she going to be part of? If there's any sort of group forming, is she going to have a part of that group?
I have a theory. I think Bray is trolling all of us, because what did he say? I don't remember the specific episode, but what has he said about Ramblin' Rabbit before? He said that he kind of represents the people that talk too much, right?
Yeah, the outspoken critics or fans critics. Or what? Yeah.
What do the outspoken critics always want? Alexa to be Sister Abigail. Where does Ramblin' Rabbit show up? Behind Alexa Bliss. I think this is Bray's way of trolling everybody, saying, I know what you want, but you ain't getting it.
Okay. Yeah, safe enough. Yeah, good enough. Listen.
Yeah, he's saying to everybody, all those people that keep on saying, Alexa's going to be Abby. Alexa's going to be Abby. He knows, and he's not falling for it.
I personally, and this is because again, I'm a comic book nerd. I personally love the Joker stuff. I really do. The fact that Bray's mask was made by Kyle with the like a homage to that mask of skin that the Joker ended up wearing for a run of comic books back a few years ago, and that's kind of where he got inspiration for the Fiend mask from. I love that. I actually think that would be awesome. And if she is gonna, I mean, Mike C brought up the mallet. I mean, I don't think anyone thought of that was a great shout. Like you know, he uses this mallet, but who's to say that that's his mallet? And of course, we all know if you're fans of comic books and you know Harley Quinn has a mallet. She's always had a big, huge, oversized mallet. So that's interesting to me. And I would like the dynamic because again, you know, it's a person who they don't have to wrestle together, and I'm not going to say that that's going to happen because it wouldn't really make a lot of sense. Because I mean, you know, you've had mixed tags and stuff like that before, but with this character, I don't think it would make a lot of sense to have that. And really, that's the only way you could do. I think if she comes down with Bray, I think it's going to be more of the way of a valet, and she's there to kind of even up the score, like we said earlier with Paul Heyman or with anybody else who would happen to come down to the ring with anyone. But I think that infatuation thing with him and seeing the power of him, I think that's intriguing to me because I like that whole Joker and Harley storyline, and I love that from reading the books and from the animated series and things like that. So I still kind of think there could be something like that coming down the pike. We'll have to see. I don't think she's gonna look. I don't think she's Abigail. Again, we've talked about that in the past. I don't think she's a manifestation of Abigail. I think Abigail's a ghost and will remain that. I don't think she's that. But I do think if she does come into play somehow, I think it's because of the power that she feels from the Fiend, and I think she, you know, isn't just infatuated with that power. Now, whether or not that's going to have her join him in some way, or whether or not that she is just going to end up going a little crazy and kind of going her own way, we'll see. We will see. Catgirl says, I think Ramblin' Rabbit gets under Bray's skin because I've seen how he gets Bray mad, but I love Firefly Funhouse, all the puppets. Yeah, well, no, he does. He annoys Bray. I mean, he's killed them countless times. Ramblin's died more than Kenny on South Park.
Yeah.
So
which is exactly my reaction every time he dies.
Yeah, I mean,
you killed Ramblin', you bastard.
Yeah, that would be funny if Huskus would do that. Like, he killed Ramblin'. I'd be like, that'd be awesome. But yeah. It would be awesome. Yeah, I think it's cool. Isn't it funny though to think, like, you know, everybody's seen South Park at one point in time, and if Bray's, you know, designed these things in his head, could you imagine like him and Kyle or whoever, or him and Jason Baker maybe talking because, you know, they might have helped him design the puppets. And yeah, or even and just saying, you know, I really want this character in the Funhouse to be like Kenny, and he just dies every single episode. I mean, that's funny stuff. It really is funny stuff. Sean Aker says, to me, Bray is reminiscent of.
I'm putting it back up for you.
Thanks, Jeff. Of the movie Split, where Bray is the original personality, but because of all the wrongdoings in his career, has fractured his personality, which manifests. Yeah, and I'll still say this to this day. We've talked about that a lot.
Yeah,
I will still say that movie Split is a big, and I don't know if Bray saw it, but I'm kind of thinking that he did.
He's a horror movie fan.
Yeah.
Of course he did.
It's a recent film. Was ended up a quasi sequel to Unbreakable, and that whole trilogy. So yeah, it really is, and that's kind of what. And also, of course, you throw out the homage to Mick Foley as well with the personalities that he's had, and Bray's talked about that, and so has Mick. So, but yeah, Meme Collector says, I also think Rambling Rabbit in the background is important. He's always opposed the Fiend. I think Rambling is trying to tell Alexa the Fiend's weakness, taking the Fiend down from the inside. Yeah, I mean, he tried to tell Seth, didn't he? He tried to tell Seth how to beat the Fiend.
Yeah.
It could be. It could be. I don't think he's going to tell Alexa that to have her attack Bray.
Right.
Because again, I don't think that really makes sense. But yeah, I mean, Ramblin' is the one that you see. Now we have seen the other puppets backstage before as well. We saw Huskus talking to Funhouse Bray in the audience of the one match that they did. We saw Abby in the back as well. So, well, that's another good point though too. Is maybe each puppet and where they appear and who appears. Maybe that's something to the story too. Maybe the puppets come in certain places to kind of give you a way of what, like Jodie said, that, you know, Ramblin's supposed to represent critics. Maybe that represents the fans. Maybe that's when Ramblin shows up. Maybe when Abby shows up, it's something else. So hopefully we'll get more puppet sightings. I mean, that's always cool when that happens because
we are always on puppet watch.
Yeah, we don't really know what they all mean. Let's see here. I think Ramblin' Rabbit gets under Bray's skin because I've seen how he gets Bray mad. Yes, Cat Girl said, yeah. I mean, he does. He absolutely does. What else do we got going on in the
They're
chat?
liking
To
your
me,
impression of Husky.
Huskus, that was tough. I don't know how I got that one out. I never thought I'd pull that off. It just reminds me of when you go to, like, we used to, when I was a kid, we used to go to these Bavarian festivals, I think they call them, and they were just kind of like German, like anybody has a German family or German background. You have a lot of people that go to these like beer fests, basically is what they were, and the adults used to take us to them, and I don't know, it's just kind of like that's I think where it popped in my head because a lot of the people there had very, very thick German accents, and I think that's what they try to do with Huskus.
It reminds me of the kid on Willy Wonka.
Oh yes, Augustus Gloop.
Yeah.
Is it Augustus? Yeah, Augustus. Yeah, the chocolate, the one who dove in the chocolate.
Yes, he always reminds me of that every single time.
Yeah, and again, that could be that. I mean, that would be a perfect segue because he's he always has chocolate all over his face.
Wonka was not the sanest person on the planet either.
No, yeah. You ever read that? Read the book if you've never had by Ronald Dahl. That book is crazy.
Yes, it is.
Much like they really toned that down to the original one. The book is more like the Johnny Depp one because Johnny Depp was a little crazy, so the book is more like that one. But yeah, that's very true. Very true. Yeah, Augustus always loved the chocolate, and so does Huskus. Joey's Adventure says Fiend's weakness could be you have to blindside him. That's how Roman was able to keep him down at SummerSlam. Yeah, either that or we talked last week about the spear. Maybe Bray just does not have maybe that's his kryptonite is a spear. I don't know.
Or a really weak jackhammer.
A really, really bad jackhammer, yes. I mean, maybe botch moves. That maybe a spear and botched moves are the Fiend's weakness. I don't know.
Just said Johnny Depp Wonka has similar teeth to Roman. Full circle.
Oh, yes. We're back to dentistry. Yes.
That was funny. That made me chuckle. Thank you. Oh, man.
Oh, so good. Yeah, absolutely so good. Huskus is partially based on Augustus, says Butterspark. Do you know that for sure? That's interesting. Well, there you go. If it is, we know he's based on Husky Harris, of course. That's the persona that he's supposed to be.
Which is funny because I think I remember Bray saying in an interview he doesn't like sweets.
Oh, okay. Okay. All right. Well, then maybe it's partially Augustus and partially Husky Harris. Yeah, could be. Or maybe the greatest jackhammer ever. Good Lord, Days fan. If you think that's the greatest jackhammer ever, dude, I know you're a Goldberg fan, but dude, that was not even close. Not even close.
Nope.
Not even close. He couldn't even get him up. Let's see. Just announced for Raw, Keith Lee versus Orton again. Okay. KO versus Aleister Black. Well, that's cool. I'm looking forward to that. And Dominic versus Murphy. Okay. All right. Well, there's your Raw lineup tonight. So very cool. Well, all right. Let's look towards the future as we always do. So we've got SmackDown coming up this Friday. We talked about what we thought it was going to be. Is it going to be a puppet? Is it going to be a person? person. All right. So do we think, and I'll go to Jeff first. Jeff, do you think this leads to a match quickly for Bray at Clash of Champions? Or I know we talked a little bit about earlier how we think no, maybe not. Maybe he's going to skip this one and he will not have a match there. And if so, obviously we know Roman's busy. So who do you think he's going to fight at Clash of Champions? Or do you feel that they're just going to skip it over and then things are going to get started as far as the next feud after the shakeup or the draft?
Yeah, I don't see Bray or the Fiend having anything at Clash of Champions. Especially now that you have Roman back, you can kind of space out these appearances for the Fiend. And, do some different things. And I mean, it's not necessarily to say that we won't see the Fiend show up at Clash of Champions, but I don't think he'll have a match. I don't think Bray will have a match there. Just because I mean, honestly, there's no need to rush into anything right now because you just rushed into 2 pay-per-views in back-to-back weeks. So, there's no real rush right now. Let them have a little bit of time and maybe have them show up and, just kind of extend the storyline that way, not even get involved, just, something like that. But I don't think we see him at Clash of Champions.
Yeah, and I'll go to Jodie right after. I agree. I don't think so either. I just don't think it makes any sense, and I don't think we're going to get a storyline that's going to. I mean, look, we're 20 days away, I think, from that. Yeah, it's going to be the 27th of September. So, I mean, that gives us 1, 2, 3. It gives us 3 SmackDowns left. Before that happens. And already we know it's going to be Roman against Jey Uso there. We know it's going to be Randy versus Drew there. So there's your 2 championship matches. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, they put him in there and just stick it in there as a mid-card. Yeah, I don't think so. And that's a good point that Jeff made. It's going to probably get to a point now, like he said, that Roman's back. Roman now is the central focus in for them in SmackDown. He's the champion. So he's going to be the one that's going to have to defend that title during pay-per-views. So I think they could have him miss that one. And I don't think it would be a bad thing necessarily. So yeah, I would agree. I don't think we see him at Clash. And I think the following night is where I'm predicting. Now, this is not by any means have been set in stone or been said to be true, but I would circle your calendar of September 28th because I think that is where we'll start the Superstars shakeup. It's time to shake things up a little. So there you go. I think we will start on the 28th. And whether they're going to carry it through the entire week again, where they'll do it on Raw and they'll do it even on NXT, and then they'll do it on SmackDown, all 3 episodes like they did the last time. Oh, God, I hope not. Don't be draft boardrooms. Please don't do that again. That was horrendous. But I would like to see them go back to the way they used to do it, where you'd have Vince or you'd have somebody, whether it's Stephanie, whoever would come down and make the pick announcements and stuff like that. That I kind of dug. I don't like this whole draft room crap. But circle those dates because I think September 28th is the date that you'll see it. And once that happens, I think that is when we will find out what we're gonna, start to see by the fact of where Bray is and where other guys go. So Jodie, what do you think? Do you agree with Jeff and I? Do you think that he's gonna sit this next one out?
No.
Oh, okay.
I don't think he's going to have a match. I definitely don't think we're going to get anything like that. But I would not be surprised if we got some kind of sneak attack or some kind of interference. I don't know who it's going to be on or when it's going to happen. I just have this really weird gut feeling he's going to pop up out of nowhere and attack somebody at the pay-per-view.
Oh, okay. So, all right. Well, not a match, but you're just saying it's going to be like a typical Fiend, like an attack. Okay. Yeah. All right. I can see that.
He's just going to pop up somewhere.
Okay, yeah, I could see
Give
that.
somebody a mandible claw and then run away.
I could see that. I could see that. Nails is cheering because I gave the Vince impression. That's my favorite one. That's easy for me to do. All I have to have just make sure like I drank something beforehand and just kind of gargle. So that's an easy one to do. The Huskus one, honestly, I think that might have been a one and done. Only place Vince is over in our chat. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Good old Vince. My favorite Firefly Funhouse was when Bray did the Muscle Man dance. Oh, that was awesome. You sound. Oh,
I think the second one was better.
the Muscle Man dance is a good one. Yeah, we haven't seen Muscle Man in a while. I wonder if he'll bring Muscle Man back.
We
at
haven't
some
seen
point.
Muscle Man since what, Mania?
Yeah, since before
he chased the pig.
Yeah, since the pig chase.
That was hilarious. I still laugh at that one.
Yes, the
That
pig chase.
He runs away from a pig.
Yes. So guys, what do you think is up next? Tell us what you think is up next, and I'm going to tell you. And anybody that is from Facebook, of course, or outside of our YouTube page, if you have not already, what are you waiting for? Subscribe to the channel. Because then
we're
you
gonna
can
have a really big party when we get to 1,000.
Yes, we're working our way up to 1,000, and we're gonna party.
I mean, really big party.
Yeah, we're gonna party. Yeah, if you haven't subscribed, do so. Turn on the notifications for Abby's window so you know when we're gonna be on. Because every now and then, when something really big happens, we will sneak attack you, and we will go on earlier than we had planned. So you don't want to miss that. So do that. And yes, we will bomb you. We will sneak attack you. And also, guys, by the way, join us for our other stuff during the course of the week, because this usually isn't the only time we talk about Bray. If something should happen, we sometimes mention him on our podcast. Sometimes Gary Cassidy talks about him on the podcast as well. So yes, make sure that you are going out and throwing up the likes on this video, of course, as well. And you guys are all so in the commentary, man. You guys are on it. You're always commenting and stuff like that, which is amazing. Throw us some comments on the video. Listen, don't let it stop here. You don't have to have it stop here. Go into the video comments and keep going. Throw us some comments there, because you know what? Sometimes at night I get really bored and really lonely because it's only me and the dog sometimes, and I talk to people. So throw some comments there. We'll answer your comments. But yeah, look, obviously we're all excited for Friday. And for Braves fans, Friday can't come soon enough. I know a lot of people, you normally look forward to Friday as being the start of a weekend, but for all of us, Friday cannot come soon enough, because we know that's when we will get the culmination and we will get the answer to whatever else is happening. Jodie, you know what? It's been a little while. Is there anything new on the merch front? We haven't talked about Bray merch lately. Is there anything new in the shop on the merch front?
Yes. Oh
yes. There we go.
So, not new, but I did buy Logan the Bleacher Creatures, so I got both of them for him.
Nice.
But while I was buying those Bleacher Creatures, I saw that there was this back to school box, like package of things, and it has a little notebook in it with paper in it that says "Let me in" on the front. There is a pen, which as a nurse, I love pens. So there's a pen in it that one side is a pen, and the other side is a highlighter, and it says "Let me in" on it. And it comes in this nice little like drawstring backpack that says "Yowie Wowie" on it. And what else was in there? Oh, a lanyard was in it too. So yeah, there's a ton of. That's a cute little. I think it was like $30, and it just came with all this stuff in it. It was like getting a Fiend goodie bag.
There you go. So you got your Bray back to school.
Perfect for Halloween.
There you
that
go.
Backpack, by the way.
Yes, Halloween is coming up. My favorite holiday. Yeah. So I have a thing too. If you guys are into this kind of a thing, and even if you're not, it's a collectible. But I just put in an order there's a game, a miniature game that's been around for a while. It's made by a company called WizKids, and it's out there. It was called HeroClix, and they made this was a comic book related kind of a thing where they had a lot of it was like superhero miniatures. You play it on a map. I don't know if any of you have ever heard of it or know about it, but I went and I pre-ordered because they have WWE clicks now. So they made little miniature WWE game. It's actually kind of cool. If you're wrestling fans and you like these kind of tabletop games, they have a ring actually. So you set up this little ring, these miniatures, it's all controlled by dice and things like that, but you have the little miniatures. So they're making miniatures of wrestlers as well. And they made a miniature Fiend. It looks amazing. He's coming down to the ring with the lantern. There's they're all molded from plastic and stuff, painted and everything. There's smoke coming out of, so it's got like clear smoke coming out of the lantern. Really, really cool looking little piece. I think it's like $12, something around there. And they come with a card that you use to use during gameplay and things like that. But even if you're not and you're just looking to collect Fiend stuff, it's really cool. So I went out and ordered that. And of course, we have Ringside Collectibles. If you get your figures from them or if you just buy them from a store, we are getting the Funhouse Bray very soon will be released. I ordered that. I pre-ordered that about a month or so ago, so that I'm looking forward to. That's the one that has the box that folds out like the Funhouse and has the puppets in with it. And then, of course, keep your eye out because the Ultimate Bray figure will probably go on sale sometime either this month or in October, and that's probably going to come out for Christmas. That is the one. If you want a Fiend figure, that's the one you want to get because it comes with the title belt. It comes with the jacket. So unlike the one we got already, which was the Elite one, which was good. I own it, and I also have the basic Funhouse Bray. The Elite was good, but that Ultimate Edition figure is the one that you are going to want if you're a Fiend fan. And look, we've got Fiend in the chair. So Fiend's in the chair. Well, that must mean it's time to go. That must mean it's time to go because we can't have Fiend sitting in the psychological chair getting evaluated, can we? We can't have that happen. So some final thoughts. I'll get everybody's final thoughts, and we will let you guys get out of here. And Jeff, some final thoughts on what's going on. Are you excited about what we're seeing? Excited about this coming Friday?
Yeah, I mean, I'm excited to see what's next, what we get coming up. It'll be a nice change of pace from seeing Bray and Braun for a little bit, and I actually think we're going to see a really good build, a solid build between Bray and Roman, just a long-term build with little Easter eggs dropped here and there. And in terms of this Friday, I'm really curious to see who we get. But I kind of agree with you guys. I think we're gonna get a puppet that is going to be a representation of a new friend going forward. But I don't think we'll find out this week.
Okay. All right. Yeah, I'm looking for, like I said, anytime we know there's going to be something happening this Friday, it's always cool. And I'm sure they may advertise something during Raw. They like to do that. They like to give you a little preview of what's coming on SmackDown. So I'm always up for that. And we might see something tonight along those lines. Before I get to Jodie and we get out of here, let me just tell you guys, of course, like I said before, make sure you are subbing to our channel. Make sure you follow us on Twitter, on Twitch, on Facebook as well. And also check our lineup out tomorrow night. We are back for Impact. We will do an Impact watch along. As always, we do that every single Tuesday. Yes, Impact has been a lot of fun. We got a new champion last week, so come back tomorrow night with us for Impact. We'll be there from 8 to 10 doing a watch along, that 7:30 actually to 10, doing that watch along. And then Wednesday, we'll have our normal podcast. Might get some audio from Gary. We'll have to see. If not, we will have some topics of the week for you on our podcast. And then Friday, we have the hot tag, and that will be with Brandy. Brandy apparently is feeling better. We were talking to her over the weekend during the AEW stream. So hopefully Brandy will be able to go on Friday for the Sensational Sherry episode. We have that also. So, and don't forget, we also have somewhere along the line, we're going to come out with the other Ask the Insiders as well. So we have the Jeff episode, and we have the me episode, the Joe episode as well. So we will get those out to you at some point too. I'm thinking maybe a Thursday for those, but we'll see. We've got a lot of things in motion, and of course Jeff has his big move and his job to think of too. So we'll see. But yeah, so don't forget to do all that. So Jodie, get us out of here. How excited are you for this Friday, and what are you looking forward to most?
Obviously, I'm very, very excited for SmackDown on Friday. Very looking forward to what Bray is going to have for us. But not to be a Debbie Downer, but I do want everyone to remember that Friday is September 11th. And if everybody could just take a moment of silence, prayer, reflection, whatever works for you guys, and just remember the lives that we lost that day and how special that day is for our country. And then go on and enjoy SmackDown and what Bray has for us.
Yeah, great point. Obviously, everybody. It's a day where everybody remembers where they were, what was going on, what happened. Yeah, absolutely. Always a good day for reflection. Yes, totally agree. So there you go, guys. We are done for tonight. We will talk to you again right from this same place, same time, same channel next coming Monday, unless of course we get something amazingly huge, and then we might be a little early. But otherwise, join us next Monday night for some more stuff on Bray Wyatt, and I hope you guys have a great night. Enjoy Raw. Looks like we got a good card for tonight. We got some exciting stuff going on, and take care, everybody. Stay safe out there. We will talk to you all again soon. Have a great night, guys.